Hey, Tasha, did you see this?
See what?
So, Amnesty International, which is a human rights organization,
Okay.
one of the largest, actually, of grassroots.
Spit it out, child. Hurry up.
Organization.
Get to it.
I'm getting to it. So they issued a travel warning.
Okay. Travel.
They issued a travel warning because of all the mass shootings.
Oh, yeah, mass shootings in the United States of America. Did they talk about cop shootings too?
Well, I don't know if it includes cop shootings, but I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the biggest concern for me. I mean, I'm saying. Like,
Okay, Tasha.
what? Look, everybody all up in the uproar. If they would have sat up there and dealt with black people issues right off the bat, we wouldn't even have this problem right now at all.
Okay. You already know whose turn it is to go first this week. Of mine. Okay? So, I'm already just going ahead and get in my topics. I'm no conspiracy theorist. I just have an internal knowing on some certain things. And I'm just going to I'm going to explain to you my knowing. Okay? So that's where we're going to start. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is actually using my critical thinking skills to string together information that would be most plausible to an actual circumstance. Got that? Okay. So, Jeffrey Epstein, supposed suicide while on suicide watch. Now, first of all, one, these are the two scenarios. One, he is actually dead, and two, that dude ain't dead. Okay, so now let me go into theory number one. Theory number one is he's actually dead. And if that is the case, then somebody had him killed. Okay, because that dude had so much information on a whole bunch of powerful people. Okay, so if he is dead, then somebody had him killed. That's theory number one. Theory number two, I don't think he's dead. This is just my personal thing, but the dude had a lot of money and he could just use that money, which money is a tool. And when you have billions of dollars like that dude had, then you can use your money to bribe your way out of prison, and use certain, let's say, contacts to get up out of the country. Okay? So the fact that one, he knew a whole bunch of people, powerful people, that all that information, okay, he could have very well used those same contacts to get up out of that prison and out of the country. And with all that money, he could get do whatever he wanted to do with either his face or his body. And he can always get to an island or a country that has no extradition to the United States of America. So that's number two. All right. Now, I'll let y'all choose whatever y'all think because there's been nobody produced. There's been nobody contacted, nobody in his family that say, yeah, they saw the body. There's nobody that even in his group of powerful friends that say they seen the body. There's, where the burial at? You know what I'm saying? There's just too much, loose ends for him to just, he committed suicide. Really? That's all y'all came up with? Boo-boo. So either one, if he really is dead, somebody had him killed, one of those powerful people that he had knew all of that bad information about. Or number two, the dude ain't really dead and he used his powerful connections that he got all that dirt on to get up out of that prison and out of the country. So there's that. All right, that's number one topic. Number two topic. I'm going to talk about this gentleman. His name is James Brockway. White male. I think he's 39. I'm not sure. He assaulted a 13-year-old boy by slamming him to the ground because the boy did not remove his hat during the national anthem. He fractured this 13-year-old boy's skull and caused him to have a concussion. The boy also seized after being assaulted. Now, here's the kicker in the head. Brockway is a veteran. Yes, he fought for the nation of the United States of America. And he also suffered brain injury while in service. He didn't get the proper care for himself, and now he has now injured someone else and gave them a brain injury. That's one messed up quandary, you hear? But here's this is not only that first kicker, this is the second kicker. Brockway, through his attorney, said that he felt like Donald Trump was speaking directly to him when he was talking about people disrespecting the flag, and that people, if they see, anyone disrespecting their country, they need to show action and do something about it. Well, Brockway took the President Trump advice and basically head first body slammed a 13-year-old into the ground and caused him a concussion. So, when are we going to acknowledge the fact that Donald Trump is inciting violence through his language? I've already acknowledged it. I've already said it tons of times. I don't know, how many other examples people need to understand that that's what's going on. All right. Okay, this one is just a statement. Video games do not cause mass murderers, okay? So get that out of your head, all right? There actually has been a study comparing the United States with Canada and other European countries that have basically the, English-speaking countries that have pretty much the same kind of demographics we have, and that they don't have mass shooters over there. But we do. Then they also examined the fact that people that are playing video games are less likely to get in mischief. You know why? Because they're too busy playing the damn video games. Also, there's a study online, you can go Google it for yourself, that the mass shooters, the ones that even did blame, video games for their proclivities, they actually played less video games than the average gamer. So there you go. Debunking all of that. All right. Now I'm going to get to my very, very last topic. Okay. Remember when ICE went in and raided the Mississippi plant? And, basically they, left all of those children abandoned and took all their parents and all that stuff. Well, something interesting, and I'll also put this link in the description, on Think Progress found out that this same plant was fined $200,000. I think this is the same one. No. Let me go back up. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I was about to say the wrong number. So, this same plant, Koch Foods, settled a $3.75 million lawsuit because of sexual harassment and also physical abuse at that very same plant. So, basically, this looks like, according to this article, that people are utilizing ICE to be the retaliatory entity that they use to basically say, all of you workers, y'all better shut up about these conditions, or we're going to have you deported. Also, in this particular lawsuit, they were talking about how the staff would charge the employees to use basic items to do their job. Now, that is reminiscent to me of something that, after the slaves were freed and they were no longer, having to have to work on the plantations, although they end up having to work for the plantations because they ain't had no damn money, nor no damn land, nor anything to their names to even get something done. So they end up working for the same plantation as sharecroppers. And as sharecroppers, they were charged to use the damn tools in order to actually farm the land. Yeah. So when I sit up there and say that if y'all would address black issues right off the gate, then we wouldn't have these issues going on right now. That's an example of what I'm talking about. If there was laws in place to protect employees, if they would have actually supported black people back then and put in laws in place where an employer cannot charge you for using the tools in which you need to do your work, then this wouldn't have happened to them. It's all, it seems very reciprocal. Okay, it's like things are being recycled, but the things that are being recycled is the racism, the bigotry, the hate, the same old practices, utilizing prison labor because you can charge them less than nothing to do jobs. So anyway, like I said, everybody was okay when it was just happening to black folks. Now that it's hitting everybody else in the face, now people want to stand up and do something about it. But hey, guess what? I guess this is what we just had to go through in order to get it right. So understand, black people are the canaries in the mine. When you see bad stuff happening to black people, you really need to step in and be those advocates and those people to come in and actually say this is, these types of actions are violating their human rights. Then it wouldn't hit nobody else because you'll stop it. Right, but hey, like I said, when y'all actually help black people out the gate, then it will not progress onto other people. So the canary in the mine right now is black people being shot unarmed. That is the canary in the mine, where we got people protesting and stuff, but it's not there yet. I guess when they start doing that to other people, y'all will see. But like I said, if you just help us right out the gate, then it won't never go nowhere. It won't never have to get to the point where y'all will be like, oh, look at this bad stuff happening. So anyway, all right. That's it. All right, girlie, your turn. And I love you. Bye.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty. I am Mandy Nice, and I'm going to hurry up and get into my topics, okay? So my very first topic is talking about the travel advisements that countries all over the world are doing in light of all of the mass gun violence that's happening in the United States of America. So some of those countries are Canada, Venezuela, Uruguay, and Japan. Even Amnesty International has issued a travel advisement, and I'll actually read that to you right now. So it says, the Amnesty International travel advisement for the country of the United States of America calls on people worldwide to exercise caution and have an emergency contingency plan when traveling throughout the USA. This travel advisement is being issued in light of ongoing high levels of gun violence in the country. Depending on the traveler's gender, identity, race, country of origin, ethnic background, or sexual orientation, they may be at a higher risk of being targeted with gun violence and should plan accordingly. Under the International Human Rights Law, the United States of America has an obligation to enact a range of measures at the federal, state, and local levels to regulate access to firearms and protect the rights of people to live and move about freely without the threat of gun violence. The government, in this case, they are speaking about the United States government under the Donald Trump administration, so that is what is meant by the government. The government has not taken sufficient steps to meet this obligation. So, Amnesty International is basically stating what Tasha would say Black people have been saying all this time, which is that the United States government has been not doing their duty in order to make sure that people can freely move about this country without being threatened with violence and without being threatened with gun violence, which is something that has been, mainly targeted towards Black people. And now that hate and that violence and the gun, all of this violence is spreading out to other groups. Now you have, entities like Amnesty International stepping in and saying, you guys, you probably shouldn't go to the United States of America because it's gotten so bad that if the police, or even in this case, the police could just shoot you, not knowing if you're a citizen or not, or even if you are a citizen. In our case, if you are a citizen and they don't know that you're a foreigner, then they may shoot you just like they would do Black citizens. So all that to say, and to make sure that you understand clearly what I'm stating, is that what used to be done only to Black people is now being done to everyone. And now that it is being done to everyone, the world is taking notice. I think if the world would have taken note when it was only happening to Black people, it would never be happening to anyone else at this particular time. So there's that. My next topic is speaking about the wealthy donors of Donald Trump who are very upset about being ousted as his donors. So you had 44 individuals and business owners, one of them being Bill White, who actually owned his racism and stated that, who cares if he's been outed? He agrees with Donald Trump and he will continue to support Donald Trump. Whereas you have other people on that particular list that aren't pretty happy about being outed, and one of those people is the owner of, I think it is Soul Cycle. So he has been outed, and he basically stated that, although Donald Trump is being good for his business, the way he runs his policies is good for his business, which means those tax cuts. But he was not wanting to be aligned with him philosophically, meaning that he's separating the business aspect of Donald Trump from the racism. Unfortunately, sir, it's a package deal. So if you support Donald Trump because he is a rampant racist, and you also don't mind that, you're getting your tax cuts, you have to take the whole thing. So there's that. My last topic, I'm going to talk about Wall Street. So Wall Street banks such as Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, and Wells Fargo have now submitted documents to the House of Finance Committee and also the House Intelligence Committee on information that they have on the banking practices of the president, his business, his charities, and his children who are running his businesses. So basically, they have turned all of this over to those committees along with the New York State, because there is still pending investigations on Donald Trump that could be possibility of banking fraud, money laundering, and so those things would be considered those high crimes and misdemeanors that a president is not supposed to be doing. So there is that. Other than that, that's all I have. And yeah, thanks. That's it. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandy Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Have a good one.